It all started with a single bad review. A frustrated couple, disappointed by a stay that didn't match the glossy photos online, did what millions of travelers do every day: they wrote about it. They thought they were helping others avoid a disappointing vacation. What they didn't expect was a $500 fine showing up on their credit card bill a few days later. That's not a plot from a Black Mirror episode, it really happened. Back in 2014, a hotel in upstate New York called the Union Street Guest House went viral for one of the most absurd policies in hospitality history. Buried deep inside its terms and conditions was a clause that read, "There will be a $500 fine for every negative review placed on any internet site by anyone in your party." It was meant as a deterrent against bad press. Instead, it became a global punchline. When a guest actually got fined for posting a negative review, the story spread faster than the hotel could delete its Yelp page. News outlets picked it up: CNN, The Guardian, even late-night hosts made fun of it. Within 24 hours, the internet did what it does best: completely destroyed the hotel's reputation. The Yelp page was flooded with thousands of one-star reviews, many of them fake but hilarious. People called it the Fire Festival of bed and breakfasts. Others left sarcastic comments like, "5 stars because I'm afraid of being fined." By the time the dust settled, the hotel tried to claim it was just a joke, that the policy had never been enforced. But emails from former guests suggested otherwise. The New York Attorney General's office even got involved, calling the policy illegal and unenforceable. And yet, this wasn't an isolated incident. A few years later, a similar story emerged from the UK. A couple who stayed at a seaside inn in Blackpool left a negative TripAdvisor review after being disappointed by the cleanliness and noise levels. The hotel didn't take it lightly. Instead of apologizing, they charged the couple £100 to their credit card, citing a no bad review policy. When the couple called to complain, the hotel doubled down, saying it was in the small print of the booking form. Once again, the internet caught wind, and the hotel quickly became infamous. The BBC covered it, lawyers weighed in, and within days the hotel was forced to refund the money. But here's where it gets interesting: these hotels didn't invent this idea out of nowhere. The roots of review control go deeper, into a shady part of consumer contracts called non-disparagement clauses. They justified it as protection against slander, fake reviews, or reputation damage. But in reality, it was just censorship dressed up in legal jargon. The internet's unwritten rule is that everyone gets to share their experience. Once you start punishing people for speaking honestly, you break that trust. In the US, this trend got so bad that in 2016, Congress had to step in and pass a federal law, the Consumer Review Fairness Act. It made it illegal for companies to put gag clauses in their contracts. It was basically Congress saying, you can't fine people for telling the truth. Still, even after that law passed, hotels and businesses kept trying to find loopholes. Some started using reputation management fees or vague policy deposits. They didn't outright say, "no bad reviews," but they used language like violations of guest decorum or disruptive online behavior. In one case, a guest in California said their Airbnb host tried to keep their deposit after a mediocre review, claiming the comments damaged the listing's reputation. The host even sent messages threatening legal action. Airbnb eventually intervened and banned the host, but the experience left the guest shaken. The question is, why do hotels even think they can get away with this? Part of it comes down to desperation. In the modern travel industry, online reviews can make or break a business. Studies show that a single one-star drop on Yelp can decrease revenue by up to 9%. For small, independent hotels, that could mean the difference between staying open or shutting down. So instead of improving their service, some of these hotels try to control the narrative. It's the PR equivalent of plugging your ears and yelling la la la. But as history shows, that strategy always backfires. In the Union Street Guesthouse case, the owner claimed he was just trying to protect wedding parties from bad guests who left unfair reviews. The irony is that, after the scandal, the hotel's online reputation was beyond repair. The Yelp page was flooded with jokes, and the property eventually shut down. In the Blackpool hotel case, the owner's phone lines were bombarded for weeks. Their TripAdvisor rating dropped to nearly zero, and the press coverage turned them into the symbol of everything wrong with customer service. The internet has a long memory. Once you've been labeled as that hotel that finds people, it sticks forever. But the real victims in these stories aren't just the hotels, it's the guests who had to fight to get their money back, or prove they had a right to speak freely. Many travelers shared stories online about being threatened for leaving bad reviews, not always fined, but intimidated. Some said they received calls from management asking them to delete negative comments in exchange for partial refunds. Others were told they'd be blacklisted from booking in the future. One woman posted a review about a resort in Mexico where she mentioned construction noise and poor food quality. Within a day, the resort's PR manager sent her a legal notice demanding she remove the review to prevent reputational harm. She stood her ground, and then shared the letter online, where it went viral. The resort had to issue an apology and blamed it on a miscommunication. There's a pattern here, hotels trying to manage perception rather than reality. And what makes this whole thing even more absurd is how self-defeating it is. Think about it, what's more damaging, one bad review buried among dozens of good ones, or a national headline about a hotel threatening to fine guests for leaving reviews? It's like setting your house on fire to kill a spider. Most travelers understand that no hotel is perfect. A few bad reviews actually make a listing look more believable. When everything is 5 stars, it looks fake. Ironically, the very thing these hotels tried to suppress, honest criticism, is what could have made them seem more trustworthy. And yet, even with all this history, similar incidents still pop up every few years. In 2021, a traveler in Thailand posted a 3-star review on Google Maps after staying at a resort near Koh Chang Island. He said the experience was average and mentioned a few staff issues. Days later, local police arrested him for criminal defamation under Thai law. Yes, arrested, over a review. He spent 2 nights in jail and faced a potential 2-year prison sentence. The story caused an international uproar. The resort eventually dropped the charges after a massive PR backlash, but it highlighted something serious. In some countries, bad reviews can literally be treated as crimes. It shows how fragile consumer freedom can be when businesses prioritize reputation over accountability. But the lesson from all these review fine scandals isn't just about hotels being ridiculous. It's about how power dynamics in hospitality are changing. In the past, guests had almost no power. You checked in, you stayed quiet, you checked out. Complaining was something you did to your friends afterward. But now, a single post on TikTok or Reddit can ruin a brand overnight. That power shift scares companies. So, some try to take it back, through contracts, threats, or intimidation. Meanwhile, smart hotels have learned the opposite approach. When they see a bad review, they respond publicly with empathy, fix the issue, and move on. People see that and trust them more. It's not the review that matters, it's how you handle it. There's a saying in the travel industry, every complaint is a chance to earn loyalty. The hotels that get this right turn angry guests into repeat customers. The ones that don't end up as viral cautionary tales. Today, review fines are rare, at least on paper. Most booking platforms have banned properties that even hint at them. But traces of the old mindset still linger. Some hotels use reputation monitoring firms to track negative posts and pressure guests to take them down. Others rely on fake positive reviews to bury criticism. And as long as the internet rewards attention, good or bad, there will always be someone trying to game the system. Still, the absurdity of the $500 bad review fine has become a kind of urban legend in travel circles. Whenever a traveler sees weird fine print in a booking form, they joke, "Better not leave a bad review or it'll cost me rent money." It's a reminder of how fragile trust is between travelers and the people they pay to take care of them. At the end of the day, travel is supposed to be about connection between guests, hosts, and the places they visit. Reviews, even the bad ones, are part of that ecosystem. They help people make better choices, and they push hotels to be better. Silencing guests doesn't create better service, it just creates better cover-ups. And every time a hotel tries to find someone for being honest, they end up paying a much higher price in the end. So, next time you're checking into a hotel and scrolling through the terms and conditions, maybe give them a quick read. Not because you expect a $500 fine, but because somewhere out there, someone once thought that was a good idea. And if you do find a policy that seems a little too absurd to be real, well, you might have just discovered the next viral travel scandal. If you want to hear about even more ridiculous hotel rules, like the resort that banned flip-flops after 6 p.m., check out the next video.